All right, we're live. Excellent. So I'm going to get a few more things set up, and there's a slight delay on the video. But let's start by, I want to figure out who we've got here. I see a bunch of cool people. Let me bring this over. Yeah, let's see. Grady, Dustin, Claire, good to see you. Let's see, a bunch of other people. A bunch of names I don't recognize, which is always good. So drop into the chat. One, if you're already a ConvertKit user, I think we've got a few here that are. And then also, maybe tell us how many subscribers you have and then what you're using currently for your email marketing. And that'll kind of get this discussion started while I finish getting set up. I got to turn off my music. I always have music going. And then, you want to shut it off once it's time for me to think and talk. So I think we're all set up and ready to go. Let's see. Let me double check a few other things. Okay, I'd also love to see any comments from people. If the video is working, audio is working, all of that, just drop it into the chat. I've got a bunch of people getting started in the chat. This is good. And then if you have any specific questions, the way I've structured this, we have a lot of time for questions. So make sure to get those ready and we'll do some of that. Okay, so we've got 35 people and growing. So TJ, how fast is that list growing? Russ has 215 on MailChimp. So that's good. Craig, I like it. Aweber is testing your patience. Yeah, we have a lot of people who have moved off of Aweber in particular. MailChimp, at least people still like the brand, and it feels like MailChimp tries as a product, whereas Aweber, they're just content to sit back and count their money is what it feels like with Aweber. So they're not really trying to innovate or anything like that. All right. Okay, Dustin's got 415 on MailChimp, planning to switch back to ConvertKit. Claire, yep, using ConvertKit with 2,800. That's excellent. I've got you all beat on subscriber count, by the way. Now, as part of this, I'll walk you through my setup and show you a bunch of great stuff inside of ConvertKit. So, yeah, Craig Aweber is stuck in 1997. Actually, I wonder if that's when they started. Let's see, 4,600 on Campaign Monitor. Campaign Monitor is an interesting one. I don't have that much bad to say about them other than it's pretty basic. But if you like fancy design templates, they're a good way to go. All right, so let's get started. Let me switch over to a little screen sharing. That should be coming through now. So what I'm going to do is walk you through a few different marketing automation recipes, some really common things that you're going to need to use and do. And I'll show you how you can set them up. I'm going to use ConvertKit as the example for all this and demonstrate in ConvertKit because I can show it with little diagrams like this diagram right here. But it's just not the same as like seeing it in action in a tool. So if you're using a more advanced tool like ConvertKit, Infusionsoft, or Entreport, then you should be able to do all of this stuff. If you're using MailChimp, Aweber, Campaign Monitor, or any of the more basic ones, I'd say you could probably do about 70%, 60% of what I'm going to show you today. And if you're willing to write some custom code, use like AW Pro Tools, Zapier, or something like that, you can get a little more functionality. On some of this, you can hack together on other tools, but I'll show you, a lot of why I like ConvertKit, because these are all workflows that I built into ConvertKit on purpose. So let's jump in. The first one I'm going to show you is an automated product pitch. And this is pretty straightforward. What you're going to do is you're going to create a form, and then it's going to take you everyone on that form through to a drip email course with a series of emails, and then you're going to ask them to buy. And you're going to ask them to buy a few different times. And so as soon as they buy, you want to make sure that the purchasers get excluded from receiving more emails. So let me walk you through this. Oh, another question. If you're selling products right now, maybe say so. Like, just say yes or no as to whether you're selling products. And then let me know what you're using to sell those products, whether it's Gumroad or DPD or straight PayPal or eJunkie, if you want to make me cringe. Any of those. I'm going to demonstrate some stuff with Gumroad because they're my favorite. So let's jump in. So first, in ConvertKit, you're going to have these forms. And forms are how you keep track of pretty much everything, all new subscribers joining. And actually, I think most other email marketing tools don't even have a concept of forms in the same way. They just dump people straight onto lists. So what I want to show you is this authority sample chapter form. And it's giving you some sweet stats already. This one's been running for a long time. And so it's got, in this case, 60,000 visitors. And I should show you this form. This is on nathanbarry.com/authority. Oh, good. I see lots of people are using Gumroad, MemberPress. I'm glad Gumroad is popular. They're my favorite. Okay, so I have this sample chapter form. And what I'm doing here is anyone who signs up, I'm automatically pitching them on the book. And then once they buy, I'm excluding them from the follow-up sequence. So that's what the form looks like. And you can see it's converting at 3.1% of all page visitors. And that may sound fairly low, but you can see that it's not the main call to action for the page. There's, lots more as far as calls to action. So once you click in, there's the form builder where you can edit any of the text, change any of this. If you wanted to translate that to another language, you could. We have somebody who uses Icelandic with ConvertKit, which is a pretty interesting looking language. We always try to pronounce the things that they put in, and it's fun to butcher. But once you jump over into the settings for the form, then what you can do is you can customize all kinds of stuff. And the first thing to customize is the incentive email. And this is something that I feel like every other email provider makes really, really complicated to do. And because all you want to do is say, hey, when you sign up, I'm going to give you a sample chapter, or sign up and download this free PDF, or whatever it is. But you have to do this weird workaround. It's normal to sign up for someone's list and get this confirm your subscription email. And then once you click that, it'll say and we'll send you another email that actually has the gift that we promised. I actually just signed up for Andrew Warner's list for Mixergy this morning. And it did the same thing where it was this obnoxious process through several steps. And then, once I finally confirmed, then they sent me the link to the video, the lead magnet that I had originally requested. So that's not a good process. In ConvertKit, we have the incentive email. And so then you can customize anything about it, the subject line, all of that. And then the button text even. So you could say download the sample chapter. And then you can upload a file or link directly to a URL. In this case, I'm linking to a URL. And so what happens is when someone signs up and they click this link to download the sample chapter, it's going to confirm them automatically and behind the scenes. So it'll do a double opt-in and then take them straight to the file. So they won't even know that you did a double opt-in. It's not in your face obnoxious. So that's really great. You can also, if you want to turn off the incentive email entirely, and what that'll do is that will just auto-confirm them and not send them anything. So that's going to single opt-in. Or you can send the incentive email and then auto-confirm everybody. So you're sending the email, but they get auto-confirmed whether they click the button or not. We still track whether they click the button, just for some behind-the-scenes verification stuff, which is pretty sweet. So single or double opt-in, whichever one you want is totally fine. And then you can customize everything about the email, which is pretty powerful. Now, coming back over here, you can select the course that someone's going to go onto. So let me show you some courses. And I have a bunch of them set up. Let's see. In this case, I'm looking for the Authority Sample Chapter course. And you can see in this interface, so they're going to get the sample chapter email, the incentive right away. And then 2 days later, they're going to start going to start getting these other emails. So I'm just following up with this other content. it's on writing, how to market your book, all this other stuff. And then this is the first, I think I mentioned authority a few times through here. Yeah, here's, there's a link to authority, all of that. But then some bonus content is the first time that I have like a strong pitch for authority. And then I'm going back to, a purely educational email. And then this one has, let's see. Actually, I'm just realizing this now. This doesn't have a great pitch for authority. So I should add 1 or 2 more emails that have soft and hard sells for authority. So that's all going out. And if we go back to our original marketing diagram, I showed you the form and then our drip email sequence going out. Now, the next part is that we need to know when someone buys. And so what we're going to do is come over to automations. And if you go to integrations, you can see there's a Gumroad integration. And we look at this. I'm already all authorized and set up, but it takes just a couple clicks to connect Gumroad to ConvertKit. And you don't have to use Zapier or any other intermediate tool. And it's really sweet. And so then what you can do, if I come back to the rules list, and I have a ton of rules. But if we look here, what I can do is set up a trigger so that when someone buys, makes a purchase on Gumroad, and then I have all my Gumroad products right here, so I can just choose from any of them, then subscribe them to the form, purchase authority. And then what I can do is I can come back into this course and go to the settings page and then exclude these subscribers, and I can exclude, everybody that has purchased authority. In this case, I'm doing it with a form, but we just rolled out tags yesterday, and so I can show you that as well. And so now going forward, instead of doing all of that with a form, you would do it with tags. So that's pretty sweet. Just came out yesterday, so I don't have a lot of that set up in my account yet, but I'll be moving more to that new system. So that's the first kind of thing. What that enables me to do, if I come back here to my authority sample chapter follow-up sequence, is I can hit add email, and I could just have, let's say this one is going to be, you wouldn't put this as a subject line, but it's going to be the hard sell for authority, and let's save that. And I don't know, maybe we'll put it at like day 34. That's actually pretty far out. This is a long sequence. It probably shouldn't be quite this long. And then, you could go to, let's say, a soft sell on day 36. There we go. And so you can just keep talking about authority back and forth, because you know that as soon as someone buys, they're not going to get the sequence anymore. They're going to get taken off of it. And so it's a really great way to make sure you're pitching the right thing to the right people. And it's super powerful. Okay. Any questions on that before we move on? And I'll do a quick walkthrough again. So what that is we have a form that's collecting all of our stats. Remember, it's giving us exact details on the stats. I should show you the other page on that. Because there's some even more breakdowns that those stats will give you. And then let's see. So we're going from the form, and then we're going through to the email course, telling people to purchase, and then everyone that purchases, we're marking them, or tagging them in ConvertKit with that. Okay, the next automation that I want to show you is an automated launch. So who is working on a launch for their product? Like maybe you haven't launched yet, or you just launched. I'd love to hear where everybody's at in the process. And once you guys are coming in with that, just going to check. Okay, cool. Because this is the next thing that I have set up to show you. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, Dustin says he's launching in about 2 weeks. So this will be perfectly timed to you. Dustin, if you have an opt-in page for the book or something, why don't you drop it in the chat so everyone can take a look? And who knows, maybe you'll get a couple of subscribers out of the deal. Okay, so there's something important that I want to show you with courses, and this is something else that another best practice that no one else does, besides what we have built into ConvertKit. And so we're going to do, it's in this blog post, nathanbarry.com/stop sending email broadcasts. You can see that. So I'm going to show you how you can set up your launch sequence so that, oh, Craig, this will be perfect for you then. So that you set it up and launch once and you create the system from the beginning. So let's say we are launching a new product. So let's just call it new product launch. And so we're here. And so ConvertKit is going to fill out, a bunch of emails on a nice sequence, like timed nicely. So you don't have to figure out any of that. You can obviously change it and everything. But let's say this is the first email that we want to do building up to the launch. And so this is just a, what's a good example? This would be one, an epic blog post that you're going to use to grow your list. Number one. Okay. So you've had a bunch of people opt into your landing page. And so then you want to send them, you want to send them the first blog post that you wrote. And so you're going to do that and you're going to fill it out here and then publish it. And we'll save that. So then this is going to go out to everyone on your list who's been on the list for more than one day. Then what's going to happen is that's going to get you more subscribers. And then later you're going to, come out with another really good post, using Dustin's stuff as an example. Oh no, Dustin, there's no opt-in page right now. That's terrible. You got to fix that, especially if you're launching in a couple weeks. Sorry to call you out on that, but yeah, you've got to have an opt-in page if you want to do a successful launch. Unless you have a pretty good list already. But well, even at that point, even if you have a good list, your list can always be bigger. So you need to be constantly going after subscribers. But yeah, I'm glad you know. That's good. Okay, so the second email you're going to put out as another epic blog post. And what's going to happen is you're going to save that. But let's say someone signs up as a result of, or someone comes to your landing page and signs up for your book, after you've sent out these two emails. If you had sent them as broadcasts or set this up in any other tool, then they would never get these two emails. And that would really suck because I'm guessing you put a ton of work into them. But with ConvertKit, what's going to happen is they're going to sign up, and then on day one, they'll get this first email. And then a couple days later, they'll get this next email. And let's say it takes you 2 more weeks because you're scrambling to get everything ready for the launch and finish your product and all this other stuff before you write a third epic blog post. So what you're going to do is you're going to put this, let's say we put this on day 7. So that's epic post number 3. And maybe in this email, you can include, plus info about product. That's where you're first starting to talk about, hey, the product's coming out in this date, etc. So what's going to happen is you publish this and hit save. Well, now you've got a bunch of people on your list who have been on the list, say, for 14 or 30 days. And ConvertKit's going to look back and say, oh, well, they've been on the list for more than 7 days, but they haven't received this email yet. And it's going to send it to them as if it was a broadcast. So you get the best of both worlds where you're sending out emails like their broadcasts, but then you're creating a system going forward. So then you have some more, build up emails and all of that. And let's say you go through all of that, you do your launch, perfect. After your launch, come back through and rewrite all these messages just a little bit so that, it's still the same great content, but instead of saying like, hey, this book is about to launch, that kind of thing, you can customize it to be more evergreen and talking about going and, excuse me, about going and buying the book and other things that they might want to do. Let's see. So hopefully that makes sense. And that's a good setup. Basically what you're doing, sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. Basically what you're doing is you're creating a system from the beginning so that now as subscribers join your list, you continue promoting and all of that, everyone's going to get pitched on the product. And you really did it without creating any extra work for yourself. Whereas if you did this with broadcasts and MailChimp, or they're not even called broadcasts, they're called campaigns, or broadcasts in Aweber or any of that, then you're really creating all this extra work for yourself in your launch, because you're going to have to go redo it and try to create this evergreen sequence later. And it's the pain. So that's one thing that you can do. The other thing, and there's a lot more on that in this blog post called Stop Sending Email Broadcasts, which is on my site. Goes into a lot more detail, but hopefully that concept makes sense. All right, the next one that I want to show you is the automated launch. Okay, so this is kind of similar, where you're going to write out, where did it go? Here we go. So you write out a whole blog post sequence, but then what you can do is you can then take a bunch of subscribers that you have and just add them to this course. And I'll show you how to do that. Let's see. I'm lost. Forms. Here we go. So you're going to go to a form or a tag. In this case, I'm going to do it with a form. And let me go find. Okay, so here's a bunch of people who have purchased authority. It's not the complete set, but it'll work for this case. And I can say I can add them to a course. In this case, I have a course called Building Profitable Audiences. And once I select it, I can hit add existing subscribers to this course and hit save. What that's going to do is it's going to take everyone who's purchased authority in the, in how the last, really actually anyone who's purchased authority, and add them to the Building Profitable Audiences pre-launch course. Then what's going to happen is everyone who's already been on that course isn't going to get added again, but all the new people will. So if, say 200 people have bought authority since the last time I've done this promotion, then those 200 new people will get added. And when we go to that course, let me find it. Here we go. It's a course that builds up and says, starts out with some marketing emails and talks about, all the sort of things that those people would want to know. And then this email is all about the launch details. And I actually have some pretty clever things in here where this is calculating specific days. And so this is saying basically, hey, on Friday, the 14th at, this time, and it's calculating it based on the subscription date and how far away that is. So plus that number of seconds, basically. So it's saying that the course is going to open because this evergreen launch. And then, so I have other custom dates that say it's opening on this date and closing on that day. And so that is all pretty fantastic. But because I basically hit play on this sequence all at once, you're going to get the pre-launch emails, then the sales are going to open. It's going to ask people to buy. We're going to exclude the purchasers like before, and then send a bunch of launch week emails, and then close the launch. And so that can all be automated. And so, maybe 2 to 4 times a year, you could just hit play on a product launch and have a bunch of people go through it all at once. So you have all these leads kind of pooling up, and then you can take everybody through a launch all at once. And it's super powerful and awesome. And it sells really well. Any questions about those two things? And I'm going to take this chance to take a drink of water. The next thing that we're going to talk about, I'll give you a little preview of it while waiting for some questions, is onboarding. And this is, a very basic thing that a lot of people are going to want. It's just really simple. The more automated emails you send, the less you want to make sure that you're not sending all this duplicate, or that you're not sending too many emails at a time. This will showcase the complete the course automation, which is another thing we have in ConvertKit. So first, to walk you through the workflow, basically someone opts into your newsletter, and then you have, say, 3-4 emails once they sign up. And then after they've signed up and gone through that entire automation, then you want them to get your regular, say, like weekly broadcasts. So how you would set that up, well, I've already shown you forms and courses. And so then you would come in here to automation rules. And what we could do is add a new rule. And we could say when they complete a course. And I'll choose an example course. Okay, so let's say when they complete the marketing course, we could say add a tag. And that tag, we would need to go create it. So let's come under subscribers. But I can show you with any tag. And then you could, the tag that you could add would be something like, completed. I'm trying to think what it would be. I'm spacing out for a second. Completed the onboarding, completed the automation, that sort of thing. You could also go the other way, and you could say once someone signs up and gets added to the marketing course, you could also add a tag saying, that they are receiving the onboarding, and once they finish, you could then remove the tag of the onboarding, if that makes sense. So then you could exclude everyone who has the tag of currently receiving onboarding emails. As far as creating tags, it's super straightforward. So you come in here and say like, yeah, I don't know what we call this, in boarding. Hit send. There is nobody in that tag right now. You can always edit it later. You can import directly into a tag. So you could drag or drop, a CSV, and then you could be like import into that, or import into people who've bought authority, or you can also import into forms or courses as well. Now you can also, if you want, like, let's say you don't have that many subscribers and you want to add some one-off stuff. So I'm going to search my subscribers for me. Hi, me, and click in. And so what I can do is I can add individual tags just to one person. And Claire, I'll get to your question in just a second. So this is me and everything I'm subscribed to. Obviously, I'm subscribed to a lot of my own stuff, which I don't know if that's narcissistic or not. Anyway, what I can do is add a tag for onboarding sequence, and then I'll add, or here I can create a new tag where I could say, I could add myself to the awesome people tag, and it just created a new tag totally on the fly, which is awesome. Anyway, so you can edit all of that, and then you can remove tags on a one-off basis. Okay, now, so Claire is asking, I was wondering how to offer coupon codes that expire in an Evergreen launch sequence. Would that be possible with ConvertKit? We don't handle any of the e-commerce side of things, so the coupon codes wouldn't automatically expire. We're talking about working with a few different companies or software products to put in deadlines that truly do expire. My favorite approach, though, would be to do like a monthly launch of a product using this method where you're pressing play on a group, and then you could just, know exactly the days that it's going to open and close, and then you could just turn off those coupon codes in Gumroad or wherever else. That's the way I would go. Or you can also kind of artificially say that the launch is closing and then just stop linking to it. Things like that. Any other questions? Let's see. And while we're doing that, I showed you the onboarding. The last one I want to show you is webinars. And this would be kind of neat because you all went through this process to get here today. So with webinars, what you can do is you can kind of handle all of this inside of ConvertKit. And so you can have a registration page, which, you all signed up on. And then the going live email, which you got, an hour and a half ago or so, an hour ago. And then there's this watch live page. And this is the one part that's not actually really part of ConvertKit. I guess the sales page isn't either. But this page is something that you can create for free with Google Hangouts, and then you can add chat role to it. And so this is the page that you're on right now, where I have a live Google Hangouts. Let's see if I can switch my, let me see if I can switch my screen sharing really quickly. Hi. to show that. Hopefully this won't create an infinite loop. Oh, it won't, because I have this video paused. So what you can do is you have this page here. It's just a custom little HTML template that I made. Has the live streaming YouTube video here, and then a chat roll box embedded. And chat roll is free for up to 10 people in the chat. At a time, and then it's pretty cheap, like $20 to $50, depending on how many people you want in the chat. And if you go on the ConvertKit blog and just search webinars, you'll find that I am giving you pretty much this exact template. So that's pretty cool. I think so, at least. We'll see if you think that. Let's switch back to the other screen. And what you can see here is that from the live thing, you tell people to go to the sales page and then they would purchase. Again, you're excluding the purchasers. But then you can have an automated follow-up sequence, of all the emails afterwards that are going to drive them to purchase. Because you're going to sell some things on a webinar, but you're going to sell a lot more over email afterwards. So the cool thing is that you can now do that entire workflow inside of ConvertKit, and that's pretty powerful. So check out, a few different of our registration page templates. We have 4 different templates, and they all work. They all work pretty well. I use them for everything. Let's see. I haven't written out the advanced onboarding or the pitch machine methods yet, or design diagrams for them, but I want to tell you a little bit about how they could work, especially for someone like myself who has some more complicated onboarding because I talk about different topics. So let's say I write a blog post about design. And at the end of that, I'm saying, hey, sign up for my list. And you do. And so now I know that you're interested in design because of what you opted into. But what if you also like marketing stuff? I don't send all my marketing stuff to the people who opted in for design by default because that might kind of be overkill. But what I can do is I can ask them a question. So I can create a trigger and say when they click a link, and I create this link and have it go anywhere. Say I send out one email that is about marketing related content, and then I link to a free PDF or something like that. That's where this link could go. And then I could add a tag, and the tag could be interested in marketing as well. So then I can have people dynamically move between things, or I could, instead of adding a tag, I could subscribe them to a course. I could subscribe them to the marketing course. And I could do the reverse of that, where if they opted into marketing related content, I could use a click the link trigger to add them to something so that I know they're also interested in design content. That's another powerful thing of all of this is, let's see if I go back here, you have one profile for every subscriber, whereas in MailChimp or Aweber, this would be 10 different lists effectively. It'd be ridiculous. Well, really, it'd be 6, but you get my exaggeration. Whereas in ConvertKit, because it's subscriber centric, everybody has one profile and all this information keeps getting added about them. So there's no duplicate subscribers. There's no getting charged for duplicate subscribers like both MailChimp and Aweber do. And you're not going to send the same email to one person twice. It's really, really powerful. I think that's what I wanted to show you. Now, so to finish that thought on the advanced onboarding, basically based on people's actions, you can customize the follow-up sequences and get really, really sophisticated. The pitch machine one is all about if someone signs up, then let me find an example. So after someone signs up, you can show a success message directly in line, or you can redirect them to another page. And this could be like a thank you page that has a call to action and a direct pitch for the product. And then depending on what they do on that, you can customize more things. It gets pretty complicated. I'll teach more about it in other webinars. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in learning more about. I think a lot of people on this call still need to set up some more of the basic stuff first. Okay, now I want to show you a few of the best practice by default stuff that we have going on in ConvertKit. Let's see, let me find a good blog post to demonstrate this with. Here we go. This one about Katie, who did really well after promoting authority is good. Okay, perfect. This is what I wanted. So at the end of this, I have a call to action to sign up for my newsletter. It's kind of generic, a little bit lame. That's all right. Now, let's say you're already on my newsletter and you come back to this page. Well, again, I'm pitching you on signing up for my newsletter, which is now really lame because you already have. And anyone who knows what they're doing when it comes to really business online, they know that email converts better than everything else. So they put all this effort into pitching email, basically, or getting you to sign up for their email list. But let's say you do sign up for your email list and then you come back. Now switch to another computer. What everyone else is doing is they're showing you this and they're saying, sign up for my newsletter, sign up for my newsletter. And they'll have like a sidebar form and all this stuff. Well, guess what? You already signed up for the newsletter. So they're pitching you a call to action for an action you've already taken. It's super lame. In ConvertKit, you can customize that. So now, since I've already signed up and I come back, instead of saying sign up for my newsletter, it says learn more about authority, buy the book, learn more about the course, the product, that kind of thing. And that's way more powerful. Just think of how much real estate you're wasting on your website because you're asking people who are already on your list to sign up to your list. It's stupid. So here's how ConvertKit handles it. Let me find it. Okay, so we have an opt-in form, and under style, I haven't even shown you the other styles and stuff that ConvertKit can do. But what you can do is, so there's a question, what should we show to return visitors who have already subscribed? And you can say continue showing the form. That's what everybody does. You can say hide the form, or you can show custom content. And on the form on this form, what I've done is just added a little bit of custom HTML to add the book and all of that. And there's a blog post on the ConvertKit blog that has all that code that you can just drop in right here. So that's super powerful. It's not that hard to custom code, but since ConvertKit does it by default for you, it makes a bunch of money. I can't believe that more people aren't doing this. I know about 100 people, or I know about 50 people who make over $100,000 a year from their blogs, and exactly 3 of them have this set up, just because nobody sets up this kind of thing by default because it's work. And so it's just another thing that ConvertKit can do for you because it's built by people who actually do online marketing and actually care about this. And so we built a lot of best practices by default into it. A few of the other ones that I want to show you is all the stats. Well, really quick, let me show you the modal and slide-in forms. What you can do here is you can have like an exit intent modal, or it displays after scrolling a certain amount, and you can customize what devices it shows up on, and same with the slide-in. Cool stuff there, so you don't need to use outside plugins. We have all of that taken care of. The next thing that I want to show you is, well, this one doesn't have it. I'm trying to think of a good one that would have it. Well, there's a blog post that I wrote, a little tutorial, like a case study on West Wages. And he actually ended up getting about 1,000 subscribers in 8 days. So basically he had this site that he put together. Here we go. So this is a ConvertKit landing page. And then it drops people onto an email course that's going to promote, more, that's going to send out each of his videos and then eventually promote his product. So what he did is he promoted this email course all over the place, on Product Hunt, on social. Here I'm tweeting about it. Here he's posting it on Facebook, et cetera. Posted it to Reddit, Hacker News, all of this. So ConvertKit gives some really sweet stats where it's saying, hey, here's how many visitors you've had. Here's the conversion rate and the subscribers. But that's not super robust because you're going to find that conversion rates vary wildly, not based on the page, but based on the traffic source. and the quality of the lead. So as we go down a little further, you can see that you can add campaigns in ConvertKit. And so here's Product Hunt. You can see that 1,400 subscribers or visitors, 261 subscribers, and a 17% conversion rate. Not bad. But you can see that when Wes posted to his Facebook page, it had a 38% conversion rate, so way higher. When I posted to Twitter, 20%. When I posted to Twitter a second time, 22%. This was a post to Reddit, 12 subscribers, 23% conversion rate, not bad. And so on. You can see that a post to Hacker News did terribly. 16 visitors, 0 subscribers, 0% conversion rate. I think actually these might be 2 different posts to Hacker News. I'm not sure how he broke it down. So how you do this is on any link that has a ConvertKit form on it. So it could be your blog post, like this, because that has a ConvertKit form, really anything. What you're going to do is you're just going to add ref equals, and then whatever you want to put. So let's say, let me look in the chat. So here's here. Let's say I write an article on design, and I want Grady to share it. So I'm going to add ref equals Grady, and then I'm going to copy this link, and I'm going to email Grady, and I'll say, hey, Grady, I just came out with this article that I think you're going to really like. Would you mind sharing it with your Twitter followers? And then once he does, all those stats are going to show up back in ConvertKit under Grady. And when I submit to Product Hunt, to Hacker News, etc., I'm going to get all of that. Now, if I ask a bunch of friends to share it, then I would just say, I would come back in here, and I go ref equals Dustin, ref equals Claire, and I could, I could add other things in there, or I could obscure it more. So maybe instead of Grady, I would just do like GK for Grady Kelly, whatever. You get the idea. Basically, it's super powerful, and you get really great stats broken down. Because if you were just looking at this total number, you wouldn't know. You'd be like, oh, great, Product Hunt did something, Reddit did something. You'd have a feeling that Product Hunt did better than Reddit, but you wouldn't actually know. And so here you can find out that Reddit, where's Reddit? There we go. Sent 12 subscribers, whereas Product Hunt sent 260. So that's still, 20 times, 22 times is good. So that's super powerful. There's also a breakdown by refer, and that can be helpful. So convertkit.com/2014/grow your list gives you more details on Wes's story and that feature. Most people have no clue what the conversion rate for any of their forms is if they're using stuff built in by MailChimp, because it just doesn't tell you any of that. That's another little best practice by default. I'm trying to think which other ones I should show you. I'm going to, I have a good one for you. Let's go into broadcasts. Broadcast is going to take a second to load because there's so much in there. Okay, so I sent this email to here. This was the email, want to learn about marketing automation. That's how most of you got here. I can click into this, and you can see only 39.5% of people I sent it to actually opened it. That's not so good. We could do better. And so I have this button right here that says resend to unopens. So let's say I wait a week, and then I'm going to run this webinar again, which actually I am. And so I could resend this. Let's click it. I could resend this email with a new subject line just to the people who didn't open the last time. And it's going to increase my open rate. And then when I go all the way, and I can customize any information about it. So let's say instead of July 1st, I'm going to do this on July 8th. Ooh, 8th. There we go. Same time, same place, blah, blah, blah. I can hit next. You can see the recipient count is 2,432, which is exactly who hasn't opened. And then what I could do is I could schedule this. So I could send a broadcast and then immediately schedule a resend to the people who didn't open for, say, a week later. And that's really, really powerful, especially for stuff that's important where you want people to get that product pitch or something like that. I wouldn't do it for all your emails, but on the important stuff, it makes a huge difference. This is something that Noah Kagan has written about, Pat Flynn has written about, and they all give complicated tutorials of how to do it in MailChimp and Aweber. And we just add one button to make it so you can do that. So it's just another kind of best practice by default that we have built into ConvertKit. That takes me to the end of what I had written down on my little sheet to show you. Here's my little sheet. I don't know if you can see it. I do lots of notes with my favorite pens, which are these. Anyone who likes pens knows that these are the best. Oh, and you should get them in blue, not black, because it's better. Any questions that I can answer? Any marketing specific things? Any of that before we jump in? Oh, the other thing, while I'm waiting for those questions, the other thing that I will show you is the secret new thing that we've been working on for ConvertKit that has nothing to do with software. And I'm really excited about this. So I have this philosophy that's driven everything that I've done over the last 3 years online. And it's the idea of teaching everything you know. That's how I've built my audience. That's how, hundreds of authority readers have built their own audiences, all that kind of stuff. And so it comes down to this one philosophy of teach everything you know. And so what I did, let me switch back to screen sharing. What I did is I went and made t-shirts that say teach everything you know on the front. And there's some beautiful hand lettering there done by Sean McCabe, who was an authority case study. And just does some amazing stuff. And then on the back, it just has a small ConvertKit logo and it says grow your audience. So I think they're super stylish. I ordered a bunch of them. If anyone's going to be at the World Domination Summit in Portland, I'll have some of these with me that I might give out if I particularly like you. And then we have them in green and blue. So what I want to do, because I like these shirts so much, is the first person from this webinar who signs up for a ConvertKit account will get a free t-shirt shipped to you once you sign up. And I'll ship it to you anywhere. I know we have a couple people in Australia. I think someone said they were in Europe for this call. And yeah, wherever you are, I'll happily ship it to you. For everyone who's already a ConvertKit customer, later on, once I actually have the shirts and all that, I'll find some ways that that you guys can potentially get shirts. But if you're a brand new customer and want to sign up, the first person from this call to sign up will get a free shirt shipped to them, and I'll even let you pick the color. Personally, I think the heather black is going to be my favorite. All right. Any questions that I can answer or any of that? I'm glad you guys liked it. Craig and other people. I don't know who V Bortone is, but I'm glad you liked it. Glad you thought it's been great. Hopefully, everyone who's already using ConvertKit, this has been helpful to give you a walkthrough of the details inside of it, just how powerful it is. The other thing that you should know is we're adding. I'm going to turn this off. Switch back to me. Hey, I'm back. The other thing you should know is that we're adding all kinds of other things. I mean, tags came out last night, announced this morning. The send to unopens we launched a couple of weeks ago. There's just all kinds of stuff. If you look through our blog, we're churning out features really quickly. I think we're iterating faster than any other email marketing company around, and we're building stuff that actually matters. It's not for like the random, design shop or cupcake store or whatever else that, like MailChimp and these other providers are serving. We're serving people who are trying to make their living from blogging and trying to make their living through building an audience. And so we're building exactly the features that you need for that. So Craig's asking, are there guides like this available once I sign up? That was a lot of awesome info, but I'd love to be able to go over it again. Yes. So I have a bunch of content that I've written on my blog, and I can link to a lot of that. What I'm going to be doing, it's actually on my to-do list for later today, is to start recording a lot more short tutorials. So this was obviously long. I think we're at like 45 minutes now. But what you're going to want, is some nice short tutorials that walk through specific things. Like here's how to import subscribers. Here's how to set up this workflow. So I'm going to be recording a lot of those, and then we'll have probably in the next week or two, we'll have about 10 to 20 videos live on the site that will walk you through each step. And the goal is that each of these videos will be like 2 to 3 minutes long, so they'll be really easy to digest. I was actually waiting to record those videos until we release tags, because so much of the workflow changes because tags enable so much new functionality. So now that that's out there, I can start recording the videos. One hard thing about videos, though, is since the software changes so quickly, videos are kind of hard to keep up to date. So that's why I've been hesitant before, but the time has come to do a bunch. Claire, I'm glad you've been happy with how quickly new features and all of that have been coming out. We've been working hard on that. Any other questions that I can answer before we sign off? I've got some podcast interviews I'm going to record in a bit for a new podcast, which is all about how to grow your audience. And I think if you're into this sort of content, I think you'll really, really enjoy that new podcast. Let's see. I'll just wait a second for any new questions. I'll show you the ConvertKit pricing page. That is something that makes a lot of sense. Oh, here's that t-shirt again. Let's go to convertkit.com/plans-pricing. And you can see right here that pricing is just based on how many subscribers you have. So if you're just starting out, you can drag this down to 1,000, and pricing starts at $29 a month. So it's a little more expensive than like MailChimp or Aweber, but you get a ton more features. And I think it's about the same price as MailChimp. And then if you have a bigger list, we have a lot of customers in the like 65 to 100,000 subscriber range. You can see the price gets up there a little bit, but it's still quite competitive with MailChimp and Aweber. And you get so much more functionality. So basically you just select how many subscribers you have. Let's say if you had like 4,000 subscribers, you'd select that and then hit create an account, and I'll take you through that. Okay, so we've got a question from Gary. Confused by the very first example by the fact that you have a sign up form and then send them an incentive email. What does the email say? They've already signed up. Okay, so in the case of the sign up form, let's see if I still have this up. Okay, so that was this example. So you have the sign up form. Usually there's some kind of lead magnet that you're giving out. And so what you're going to do is, instead of saying join my newsletter, which even though that's the example I showed, it's not a very compelling call to action. A better one would be like, download my free guide on, selling digital products. So I actually have one, and maybe I'll show that to you. And I think it's at nathanbarry.com/digital products. I'm guessing here. Am I right? Yes, I am right. So this is a ConvertKit landing page, and so when they sign up, they're going to, the incentive email is going to email them this guide. So, and if they've already signed up, they'll just get it again. And let's see if I can show you that, show you the form or the landing page that does that. And right here. So here's the incentive email. So instead of saying like confirm your list, are you sure you really, really, really want to opt into Nathan's list? He might be a spammer. And like it feels like MailChimp and other tools do. It just says click here to download the PDF, and then once they click it, it'll confirm that they actually own that email account, which is the whole point of double opt-in anyway. And then it will redirect them to that PDF file. So hopefully that makes sense for what incentive emails are. They're basically just like confirmation emails. You could change all of this. So you could say like, confirm your subscription. If I could type, and then, that would change to confirm your subscription. And then the URL, you could say, go to like, nathanbarry.com/thanks or anything else. I don't want to save this because obviously I don't want to change any of that. So then you could set it back to be just like what other tools do. But the point is that it's super customizable. Yeah. Okay. Daniel is asking, any recommended resources to create those nice cover images in the form? Yeah. So I have 2 recommended resources. One, when you sign up for ConvertKit, you get access to all the Photoshop templates that I use. I've bundled them up, and they're available for free to all ConvertKit customers. The other one, I'm spacing on the site. I think it's like PSD Covers. Yes. PSDcovers.com. They've got stuff, here's a box, a can, but they have lots of, well, these aren't what I'm looking for. If you look, I think it's hard to navigate, but if you go back through, they have a bunch of great ones. Yeah, so here's one that's kind of a book cover, and there's different Photoshop actions. And so you could pick out one that you liked and then either do it yourself with Photoshop, or if you don't have one that, or if it's something that you need help with, you could hire, a freelance designer to help with that really quickly. Or we'll actually help with book cover designs for simple stuff. And so we're actually able to make some pretty great looking book covers pretty quickly. Let me think if I can find one. Let's see. Yeah. So we did one for Ryan Castillo. Let's see if it's still on this page. There it is. So that, like, a nice little book cover for his book, 7 Recurring Revenue Recipes for Freelancers. And that's one that we did for him. So we do some great stuff. And, there's his ConvertKit form. Hopefully that answers your questions. I think that t-shirt is still available if someone wants to create an account and snag it. But yeah, otherwise that concludes our webinar. Oh, I just lost my train of thought again. Here we go. I was trying to switch back to the video of me. Okay, so, and Daniel, like you're saying, feel free to just write into support. Anytime you're inside of the product, actually, I should show you that. Okay, so we're here. Come right down here. You can click that, and then customer support is available, and you can just start a new conversation. And so you could say, like, I need help. And that'll just start a conversation right there. And actually, that just messaged. Here we go. I don't know if you can see. That just messaged my phone saying that Nathan needs help with ConvertKit. So feel free to use that to get in touch. We're pretty on top of customer support and all of that, and we'd love to help with all kinds of things. So thanks for hanging out, and hopefully I'll see you inside ConvertKit. See ya.